accident.
Daisy started it.
Oh, did she now? Well, I'm sure she didn't mean to. You'll be playing together before you know it, okay? I promise, Firefly.
What up, everybody? We are here for the Sunday Night Goodness with Black Twitch League. It is, of course, your friend, your boy, Little Rodney, a.k.a. OldSadBoy, a.k.a. the Garrison Hurst of this cast stuff, here with the shadowy hand behind the scenes, Aulz.
Hey man, it's not my fault that I haven't been on the desk as much this season. The BTL Season 13 folks will remember my voice as really just being here alongside you for most of last season. It's been nice having a couple extra voices here to make our lives a little bit easier, but we are back on the desk together, and we've got a hell of a match here tonight. FFZ looks great with their new roster, and DPS has been clinging to the outside of the podium, just swapping that second and third place spot with the Cat Cowboys, and Galactic Outlaws are hot on their heels. So this match has a lot of potential here to determine what the playoffs look like.
Yes, it does. FFZ being 1-3, DPS being 3-1, but picks, bans, going fast and in a hurry. We see a Lulu ban, we see a Kog'Maw ban, and a Zeri ban from FFZ. DPS on the other side going to ban out the Kindred, the Lilia, and the Gragas. Perhaps a priority on those jungle picks, with, it looks like Emilio coming in first for FFZ. Emilio, we've seen this season, very strong, very highly contested. I know that, I believe it was you who was saying that you should just always go tank.
No, I don't think that was me. That may have been cool last weekend.
I apologize. We do have a lot of new voices, and sometimes I get them mixed up. But someone was one of our casters was saying that you should going tank support is still preferred to going enchanter, but at least to start off, FFZ does not agree. DPS taking Lucian, which we did see do a lot of DPS last weekend, and we'll find out if it's still going to be in the same vein.
Yeah, this Lucian for Your Bad Connection has been a signature pick going back all the way to the start of last season when it was Cyber David and Cyber Lucy and even the Coffee Twins in the bot lane for DPS. The Lucian has always looked great. The Maokai coming out here is a nice little flex. Could be going to Lacuna in the top lane or to Jordan in the jungle. We've seen a lot of carry from Jordan, so the Maokai would be a little bit of a different angle. Be interesting to see how that goes.
That is true, though we have seen Jordan on a lot of Amumu. I feel like Maokai is like Amumu adjacent. But FFZ will take Graves, which is one of the other carries we have seen Jordan on, and with the Kindred and the Lilia ban, does provide some question marks. Are we going to see the NA Rengar again? But FFZ, what? No, are they going to take the Nautilus mid? Please say no. Please say no.
We did see the Nautilus used to great effect in Game 1 of last week's match here for FFZ. Coach Ray Pichilote looking great, working well with Wheelspan to rotate around the map and use the tanky engage of the Nautilus to help affect other lanes. So I really like this here, especially with Wheelspan calling the shots. Looked really good last week with Wheelspan on the carry jungler. With the Graves picked up here, seems like the same vibe. Seems like it could go very well for FFZ.
I just realized that it was DPS who banned the Kindred.
Yes, they did. They took it away from Wheelspan, I think. They're a little bit scared of this Grandmaster jungler, who I have heard rumors is actually on the competitive circuit. So this is a very high quality jungler coming out for FFZ, taking all 4 of their points in terms of team player value. So they're playing around him and they're using him to the fullest, which I like to see.
I mean, that is true. However, I believe in the power of a goal. But we do have a Nami coming in for DPS to, of course, match with the Lucian. There's going to be a Jinx ban. What was it? I think it was last weekend, 2 weekends ago. We did see the Nautilus, but because it was paired, I think also with a Graves, but not with an AP threat. There was the ability for crap, I can't remember which game it was, but basically all of their tanks itemized for damage only, or for AD damage only, and we're able to basically save a bunch of money and be doubly as useful. But we do get a Zoe ban from FFZ, we get a Mordekaiser ban from DPS, and the last ban from FFZ, we slowly wait.
Yeah, we do have to mention, of course, that DPS running on a bit of a cobbled together roster with substitutes Lacuna and Alistander in the top and mid lane respectively, weren't quite able to get a reschedule posted. So we are playing with unusual members, people who we have not seen before. That might make it a little bit more difficult for FFC to decide what they're banning, but they are going to take the set away here. As Fiddlesticks is picked up, that could be going to Jordan. That means a Maokai top for Lacuna.
That does make sense in my mind. We did see last week, though, that DPS actually looked really rough with the substitute mid laner. And then, or was it 2 weeks ago? I apologize. 2 weeks ago. Looked rough with the substitute mid laner, and then we're suddenly locked in. So I do wonder exactly how much that's going to play a factor. But I agree with you. I think the Fiddlesticks is probably going to go in the jungle.
Oh no, Rod. Not Zerathai's signature Ezreal. That's not what we need, man. We don't need that energy here today.
We have since the ancient Ezreal prophecies of loss and sadness, we have seen 2 Ezreals win their game. So it is possible to win with Ezreal in this league. However, it's still not probable. So we will find out if this is maybe going to, add a couple percentage points to the Ezreal win rate or not. We do get the Scion coming in, likely going up to Mad Chef there. Scion versus Maokai, definitely going to be a wet noodle fight up there.
Yeah,
well, this definitely there are Scion builds that hurt and Maokai builds that hurt. Now that I think about it,
the Silas being picked up could likely go to Alistander in the mid lane, but there is technically a chance of seeing the solo lanes swapped here. Maokai doesn't look as good in the mid lane without the ability to really use those saplings to the fullest, but still technically possible. There were a few patches back towards the start of the season where Maokai was in every single role and did so to the highest quality. So anything's possible here in BTL. That being said, Rod, I am a little bit concerned by this Fantastic Four team comp here because there's not a whole lot of damage spread if Coach Ray goes with the same tanky Nautilus build that we saw last week. The Nautilus went Eclipse into full tank here, which would mean that Ezreal and Graves are the only real damage carries for FFZ. That puts a lot of weight on Wheelspan and Zerathai here.
Yeah. Also, I won't even say I think. I remember this, where this was the exact same problem we previously saw with the Nautilus mid, where it wasn't enough damage. And so Nautilus could get, the CC chain and, hey, people are locked down and what have you, but Graves, I know it was with the Graves, was not able to do enough damage. There was not enough damage overall as a team, and it's looking very similar, which, why? I don't understand it. And again, we also have the Ezreal, and Ezreal is the eternal question. Are you going to be pumping that damage into people that matter? Or are you just going to be pressing Q into the Maokai, who is going to not care?
Yeah, but between the innate tankiness and sap magic, Maokai can take a whole lot of punishment. But the rest of the team can too. Silas with the Kingslayer has a lot of healing. Fiddlesticks with the Drain has so much healing. And even the Lucian Nami with the Ebb and Flow, Nami's going to be able to pump that healing as well. So it's going to be hard for Ezreal with the Gunk Poke to just be able to cut through these members.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I am... Oh, wow. The Nautilus is being picked in top lane. What? This has got to be some shenanigans. I do love spicy plays and spicy picks, but I don't think we've really seen Nautilus top lane be super meta since they stopped Doran's Ring stacking a couple seasons ago, because you could take both of them, take Nautilus top, press E, Wave is gone. You laugh. Wave is gone. You hook them. You laugh. But if this is not a champ select troll coming out from FFZ, we will get to see the spicy picks. However, also Scion ult getting stolen by Silas could suck. I believe that's the scientific term for it. Silas running in from out of nowhere with a fiddlestick maybe to follow, or a Maokai. I believe the scientific term is sucks real bad for FFZ.
You know, I'm almost on the other side of that argument here, Rod, because I feel like the depth charge take from Nautilus is more dangerous. Yes, the Scion gives mobility. It gives the ability for the Silas to be elsewhere, but Silas already has plenty of that with the Abscond Abduct. He has plenty of innate mobility. So Silas being able to roam into other lanes, being able to create chaos, is already going to happen. Not having the depth charge, not being able to roam bot and instantly lock down either the Milio or Ezreal with the click of a button with no way to dodge, that's scarier than, oh, Silas is going to hit R and sprint down the river, be super obvious and be super dodgeable. So I think this is a great trade from FFZ. If they manage to keep these lanes, it'll make it a little bit easier to get through the early game and out of laning phase without the Silas really coming unlocked.
You make a good point. Make a very good point. But I think later on, Silas is still going to have access to it. But I don't know. You're making a good point, and it's kind of, my head's like, But I also do worry, though, again, the fact that you can be half a screen away and show up in 3 seconds as opposed to 10 or 12, or not half a screen away, but half a lane away and show up in 3 seconds as opposed to 10 or 12, it messes with your rotation math in your head, where, you know, your bot lane, you're like, I can take, you know, oh, Silas is missing, I can take 3 more CS and then I can back off. It's like, actually, no, you can take 0 CS and you need to leave now. But we will find out exactly which one is the best. But let's kind of run down the rest of it, because, you know, we do have the Nautilus and the Maokai, which I think will also kind of turn into a wet noodle matchup. Yes,
yeah, absolutely. Slapfest up there.
But I think the Lucian Nami into Ezreal Milio, that should, if executed correctly, should just be a 1 lane.
You would
Right?
think so, yeah, especially with the skill and cohesion that we've seen from your Bad Connection and Yulu. They work together very well. Zerathai and Atreides have seemed to be on different pages at some point through the season, so it'll be interesting to see if they can pull that together. But if they can survive, if they can draw pressure from Jordan and the pressure from your Bad Connection and Yulu to them, be that lightning rod and not fall, it will open up Wheelspan to affect the rest of the map, to get some neutral objectives, to start snowballing elsewhere. And if that happens, like we saw in last week's matches versus the Cat Cowboys, if Wheelspan gets unlocked and starts roaming around the map, it's going to be very difficult for DPS to deal with them.
That is fair. I mean, in the hands of a less skilled jungler, Graves is still a problem with 2-3 kills and a little bit of an advantage. I imagine if Will's fans gets rolling, pun intended, there is going to be major problems for DPS. But we are almost through the spectator delay, and then we will go into Game 1. Please do not go anywhere. We will be back to find out Game 1, FFZ or DPS, who is going to be the victor. Also, you can bet your internet points in the Twitch chat, so don't forget that as well. And we will see you here very shortly. Maybe grab a soda or a snacky boy and come back. right, we are back into game one. Pings of ping going up for the Nautilus. That could be a problem, but we do have a 5-stack coming out from DPS. They are kind of famous for this weird 5-stack here, hoping to catch someone maybe going a little too aggressive, but it looks like no one will. There is a modified 5-point that has happened on the side of FFZ. Oh, we do have an ignite on your bad connection there on the Lucian. I was learning today, as one does, the times when you should take the aggressive summoner, such as either ignite or ghost as an ADC, as opposed to taking exhaust, heal, etc. And this is actually one of those times when you think this is going to be a lane that you should just walk over and win, but now comes the invade and Lacuna. Ooh. Flashes the hook. Unsure if needed, but does do so. And that is going to be an invade on the top side from FFZ.
Yeah, that's a big summoner spell to lose early, especially on the Maokai, who really doesn't have a way out. Twisted Advance only lets you get further into a fight. So for Lacuna, they're going to have to play very protectively here. They know that Wheelfan is on the top side, taking away that red buff jungle. So Mad Chef going to be able to play hyper aggressively here, take advantage of this pressure, and really bully the Maokai through the early couple of levels.
Yeah, in addition to that, I feel like that was a tendency watch almost from FFZ, where they knew DPS did that and decided, hey, we're going to take advantage of it. We know you leave. We've seen your games. You leave frequently at about this time. Oh, the pushback, your bad connection going in is going to get exhausted, and that is the only reason he's still alive. Alexander fighting Willsfan with some help from Jordan, and now Willsfan trying to get away, is almost out of everything, but does finally get the final shot off. Jordan trying to chase him down, and he is trying to get away. Oh, he gets the shot. Wow. And that is a double kill for Willsfan. That is not good for DPS, but great for Willsfan, who's also going to take the topside jungle. No, is instead just going to execute, so he's not going to get caught.
No! Oh, that's unfortunate.
How?
That timer on the assist clear there is about 10 seconds. Wheelfan didn't count it out quite correctly there, I suppose. The damage from the Fiddlesticks was just barely enough to keep them on the hook. And that's a lot of gold going back over to Jordan. Actually, only 100 gold behind Wheelfan at the moment. After such a good early play, that's not what you want for the Grave.
Yeah.
Over Lacuna's in trouble. Lacuna's out of mana, and Lacuna is going to be very, very dead here. Mad Chef's going to take this with the flash. A solo kill in the top lane.
The aggression coming out early and often from FFZ. Yeah. And now we see Willsfan are already in the bot lane. The bot lane has been pushing up the whole time.
Your bad connection's out of mana.
It does not know. There is going to be the heal, though. Trying to get back onto Zerathai is not going to happen, and Zerathai is going to be able to take it with a regular auto, and now we see Willsfan chasing down Yulu. Yulu does not have anything left. Does try to get back onto Zerathai. Does wind up getting the kill. Is going to go down. Willsfan now chasing down Jordan. Jordan trying to get onto a trade. He's realizing that, hey, I'm going to die. Maybe I will be able to get another kill, but that's another double kill for Willsfan. We're 4 minutes into the game, and Willsfan has 2 double kills. I can do math really well when it's 1 for 1, as in 1 kill per minute on the Graves. That's acceleration, yeah.
This is not good for DPS, and more importantly, Wheelfan getting these kills gave one over to Zerathai. Zerathai now on the Ezreal has the Sheen. That's such a huge power spike for the Ezreal in the early game. That's going to make this lane a whole lot easier for Zerathai to deal with. Willsfan may have bitten off a little bit more than intended, though, going in to this jungle. There are 3 members around for DPS. Going to have to be a little bit careful and will back off.
There are 3 members there, but Alexander was already Aliskander. I'm going to definitely mess that up later, but was already half health. Jordan is a level behind, but does have the last chapter, last chapter being a cat-based ultimate. But yeah, already has that available after the shutdown gold that Willsfan donated. But yeah, I worry deeply now for DPS and what options are available, because the whole point is you need that Lucian Nami to kind of start snowballing. And if the snowball is abated and in fact reversed, and Zeratai now has that Sheen already, you are going to be, like, you see those Qs hit now, especially because you only have like 500 health. Those Qs hit hard.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, obviously. Your bad connection still has a fairly significant CS lead. Will still have the pressure advantage, but it's not the kill threat that you wanted. It's not the Lucian Nami going to dominate this lane that you expected out of Champ Select. So it does make the game a whole lot harder. And as we get later and later into the game, as Zeratai hits 2, 3, 4 items and starts to become a serious threat, Lucian's going to fall off. It's going to be harder for this bot lane of DPS to have the same effect that Zeratai will have. So this is a great look for FFZ. If they can keep this momentum going, they'll be in great shape.
Very, very true. I also would like to say, because this is going to blow my mind repeatedly, those effigies that look like fiddlesticks on the mini-map, but they aren't fiddlesticks. Why? I understand
Riot
why.
just wants you to suffer. That's why.
I understand why, but yes, very frustrating. But Yulu is getting taken super low. Your bad connection shows it at the last minute just to give a little pressure relief. But now the desynced backs of the ADC and bot lane of DPS are going to maybe provide a problem, but I don't think so. Actually, it's going to turn out that FFZ is just going to reset. So everybody's going to be the same, but we do see a gank coming into top lane now. Mad Chef is going to knock up Lacuna, and there's Wheels Fan, and I don't think there's going to be much left of that tree. It turns out Mythbusters was wrong. Shotgun versus Oak. Shotgun wins.
Yeah, and this is a very powerful shotgun. Already has a sword at the moment with that Youmuu's Ghostblade in the back pocket. And the map pressure as well from Wheels Fan is immense. Already up 54 CS to 33. However, we are seeing Jordan get a little bit something back here, taking this first Drake. Going to start stacking that up. Currently on track for a 22-minute soul if they get every Drake on cooldown. That's a bit of a win condition here for DPS as they continue fighting around. Despite being 2,000 gold and 5 kills down, despite having plate disadvantages, they're still making moves here.
That is good. I am willing to bet we will not see a 22-minute soul. Just a thought.
Anything is possible in League of Legends. Culling going down. Zeratai taken down to about a third health, but able to arcane shift away. Maybe down in levels, but able to keep the pressure from becoming too much to bear for the moment.
The Sure Shot Barrage does manage to nick your bad connection. Does take enough health maybe to slow the aggression coming down from the bot lane of DPS. That said, now we have the resets kind of coming in from everyone. We only are going to get the Catalyst of Aeons coming in from Alexander, most likely going for Rod of Ages. I'm gonna guess. We do have the Bami Cinder coming in the top lane for both laners. We have the Noon Quiver for your bad connection. He's had it for a little bit to match the sheen that Zeratai has. Coach Ray has what I would call the poo-poo platter, but I believe those all will build into a Jack shows the Protean very shortly.
Heartsteel. That is a Heartsteel, my friend.
That's a Heartsteel?
That is a Heartsteel.
Okay, that also makes sense. I can see why you would do that. With the Crystalline Bracer and, of course, the Kindle Gem. And, of course, the supports just have stuff. Poor
I will say, I don't love the Rod of Ages rush for Alexander here. I understand why you're doing it. You want to be a secondary tank while still doing some damage here. You already have the major AP threat in Jordan. But this is not a game that if you're DPS, you want to go late. You picked fairly early game champions with the Lucian. The Fiddlesticks is fine going late, but on the other side here, there's so much from DPS, but we're going to put that aside as Jordan's going in.
Rear
not
game,
finding anything,
trying to get onto Coach Ray, but Coach Ray is able to get away. There's going to be the drain coming in from Jordan, and they're going to be able to take down Coach Ray. Jordan is going to go down on the other side. Willfan able to take down the kill. Does miss the end of the line. A flash from Alexander. Going to be good. What a trade on the top lane. Just showing off there that both of them can switch places. Lacuna might be out. No, there's going to be the hook, but it's going to have the Bramble Smash, the knockback, and going to be okay. We do see your bad connection now chasing on the Zerathai. That is going to be the Ignite, and they're going to force out the flash from Zerathai, as Zerathai is yet again at 25% health. I don't think I've seen Zerathai at full health all game.
Yeah, however, that was both the flash and Ignite. That was the culling and the tidal wave coming out of this bot lane of DPS. That's a lot unavailable here. And with Yulu very low, with your bad connection pushing so far up, they have to be a little bit careful. In the top side, though, no care to be seen. Your bad connection going under the turret. Your bad connection is trouble. The turret shot might do it. And Zerathai picks up the kill on the dive.
Yeah, and that tower is going to go down in the top lane, and now haven't used everything else. Lacuna is going to go down as Wilsfan gets another
No,
kill.
Zerathai survived. Look at that sliver of health.
What?
Zerathai sitting on 15 after the dive from Alistander, who is unable to roam down and pick up the kill. They are going to get a bunch of plates off of this, but critically not on the ADC. Your bad connection unable to get any of this gold. That feels really bad for DPS here.
Yeah, that is definitely not ideal, as the whole map decided to fight all at the same time, one by one by one. I do appreciate them kind of taking turns, though. That was very nice of them. But the top lane tower going down, the Rift Herald being taken and then given freely to the top laner for gold there. Mad Chef being able to avoid going down in the top lane, and now he does have the fully completed Sunfire Aegis, and is chasing down Jordan, whose location remains a mystery to me, as the numerous Fiddlesticks did scare me until Fiddle actually ulted into the mid lane, because I don't know which one is the real Fiddlesticks until I see one move.
Yeah, Jordan, though, you can have effigies all over the map, but that doesn't change the fact that Jordan is still down 50 CS, Rodney. That is a ton to be down at this point in time. Down 3,500 gold. It is an incredible difference that Wheelsfan has created.
Wheelsfan is up has 2 items when there is not an item finished by Jordan. That is a bit of an advantage. Just a drop, just a little bit. We do see the Heartsteel that you foresaw coming in for Coach Ray, who is now going to be coming into the bot lane.
Oh no, Yulu.
Yulu is not in a good place. Is going to be able to get the flash and the tidal wave off. And now Alexander is onto Atreides, and there's going to be your bad connection, but there's going to be a teleport in from Mad Chef as well as Coach Ray coming in, and Alexander is down. Kill goes over to Wheelsfan, and I don't know. I was right, though. We're not going to see a 22-minute soul as that Mountain Drake comes over. Wheelsfan able to take it down, and we are going to see a Chemtech soul with a Chemtech riff. We're going to get some enhanced plans. Your bad connection on Coach Ray does have the Storm Razor now, but Coach Ray is unworthy.
Yeah, Connection's not allowed to be here. Wheelsfan and Coach Ray would be very able to take that dive if they wanted. Jordan similarly in trouble on the top side as Wheelsfan very deep, fighting now both Your Bad Connection and Yulu, tanking the entire culling to the face and seeming not to care. Still at 400 health. They're going to go in. Is going to kill. But will it fall? That's a 1,000 gold shutdown.
Very, very necessary for DPS. But yes, proxying the wave, fighting the support in the ADC, and Wheelsfan is able to take one with them, but not really worth it. Yeah, with that 1,000 gold shutdown, which does go over to Your Bad Connection. On the other side, though, did Jordan live or die? I am not sure. Jordan was up top fighting Mad
Jordan
Chef.
survived.
Okay. Was having a rough time.
Yeah.
But just the amount of map movement ability, Alexander onto Atreides, but finding out, 1, Ezreal can hit you over the wall. 2, there's actually still a Nautilus hanging out in that river there. Does get a little bit of damage on his air side, but that nice campfire shield coming out from Atreides is going to be enough to hold it down. There is Your Bad Connection in the mid lane as well. They are going to let Coach Ray just solo push that bot lane and try to put 5 onto this area. Except there's going to be the teleport coming in from the Maokai. There's going to be a turret taken by the Scion, and the reset of the Rift Herald maybe going over to DPS, but there's going to be the teleport coming in from Coach Ray, and now it looks like we're going to get our first 5v fight, as there is going to be the ultimate coming in from Scion. It's just going to hit a wall, though. There's could be the ultimate for Malachi, and everyone is in this. They interrupt the ultimate coming out from the Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks now getting hit super hard on the other side. Your bad connection, Lacuna and Alexander trying to get on the matchup, but matchup is going to be able to take down your bad connection by himself practically. Alexander able to take down her trainees, but the kill's coming through now. That is going to be Alexander with half a sliver of health, is going to heal up a little bit, but it's not going to matter. Coach Ray is going to be able to take down the kill, and that is going to be 3-4-1 on the side of, oh, and they're not done. They are trying to get onto Yulu. Yulu is going to be able to land the bubble, but I think you need to run, not turn back around. Jordan getting hit with just about everything, going to try to drain. It's not going to be enough, and that is 4 dead for DPS, and Zerathai continuing to chase Yulu. Wheels fan behind. Wheels fan does not have a lot, but is going to get the kill with a smite. Holy
I don't know about the decision from DPS to send all 5 members to the Rift Herald there. It's second Rift Herald. It's not as valuable, especially in this current map state. But what I really don't agree with is the way that that fight went. They were trying too hard to do too many things at once. They split up FFZ. That was good. They got Wheelfan bursted out. That was good. The fight was won. Step back. Take the Herald. Take your wins. But they chased too far. Alexander, Lacuna, your bad connection in very deep, taking enough damage that Wheelfan could come back over the wall, come back into the fight. It didn't matter that they were low if they were able to pick up kill after kill after kill and chain those triumph procs.
Yes.
Just a little bit of an overstep and reeks of desperation to me from DPS.
That does sound like desperation, but it's also understandable desperation, as Alexander is between 4 different members, excuse me, not going to get a fun send-off. But Dragon is going to be up in about 40 seconds. I don't know what options are going to be available here for DPS, because Wheelsfan already has a Bloodthirster as well. 3 items in, 17 minutes into the game. That's not
and Jordan
ideal.
again in trouble.
Yeah,
Jordan cannot win.
Off of the camps, just has been bullied around her own jungle this whole game. Your bad connection running away from the other side. That is a very nice bubble from Yulu. That's going to be the tidal wave, but I don't think that's the right direction to hit it in, as they are going to be able to continue this now. Coach Ray and Zerathai both trying to get in. That is going to be a very nice bubble again coming in from Yulu, but Jordan is getting just hit with everything. On the other side, there's a tower being taken uncontested on the top side, and now the Nautilus is here. Or sorry,
Yeah, however,
Nautilus stuck to mid lane. Excuse me.
Yeah, however, they did poke out Coach Ray significantly, so that is one tank that's not available. But look at the health bars of DPS. Your bad connection's in trouble. Jordan's in trouble. Alexander down at about half health, has to be careful as well. As they try to find this free engage, they're not doing a very good job of getting in past the tanks here. FFZ's gotten the Drake, and they can just walk away. But they're not going to. They're taking Jordan.
No. Yeah, Jordan is down. A very nice unstoppable onslaught coming in for Coach Ray, and now they're trying to chase down your bad connection, and that is going to be Wheelsfan activating the Ghost Blade, 2 autos, and there is no longer a Lucian. Oh my goodness. This is looking like a rout. That is a 9,000 gold lead at 19 minutes into the game for FFZ, and I think that Toyota Camry is getting their money's worth with the sponsorship of FFZ right now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, forget paying for a team when you can pay for Wheelsfan, right?
I mean, Wheelsfan is a fan of the wheels on his Toyota Camry. Just saying.
Yeah.
Saying.
I will say, and I mentioned this in the power rankings for all 5 of you in the chat that love to read those. I love hearing the trash talk. I love getting blamed for all of my opinions, good and bad. But I commented after last week's game that Wheelsfan seemed to be the rare top-tier player who was willing and able to work with the team to help guide them on how to use their strengths. And we see that here. Mad Chef and Coach Ray have been doing a great job of roaming where they needed to be. Zerathai able to play safe, but be aggressive when they needed to.
Alexander,
oh, goodbye, Alexander. You're not allowed to do this.
Oh yeah, that end of the line took half his health! Oh my god! You can't even heal fast enough for it to matter. Yeah, Wheelsfan is playing around the team, but also is indeed I don't want to say solo carrying because the rest of your team is playing well, but it helps when someone can do that to the other team's mid laner. Just deleted Alexander. Auto Q auto dash auto, and there is no more. That is a major problem that you have to deal with if you're DPS. And the issue continues to be that Jordan has no access to any gold. None of these camps are Jordan's camps. Top side jungle, not your jungle. Bot side jungle, not your jungle. I don't know what you can do with the fiddlesticks at level 10 to the level 14.
Oh, this TP is...
That's aggressive.
This is desperation here.
Coach Ray's going to go in as well, and that's going to be Jordan going down. Your bad connection looks to be the next one. Can't hit the blast cone. Actually, blast cone's Coach Ray away, but it's not going to be enough. Coach Ray is going to get the kill. Actually, Wheelspan is going to get the kill. Guns to get a double kill. The Baron was never stopped as the rest of the team is on it. Mad Chef hitting it. Coach Ray hitting it. There's going to be a sapling. That's just kind of a hope. A hope and a prayer sapling. Not going to be enough as it's going to be a Baron taken by FFZ. FFZ, Toyota Camry, Krispy Kreme, Logitech. They got 4 new sponsors just based off of this performance alone. Jesus.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. And if the gold lead hadn't already been what it was, if the tanks hadn't already been items up, if Wheelspan hadn't been able to blow up the backline, that could have been a good play. Lacuna in behind had the angle for the Nature's Grasp to bind up the whole team. The rest of the squad working front to back could have allowed your bad connection through, but it didn't matter because a couple of autos and an end of the line from Wheelspan, or a collateral damage rather from Wheelspan, was enough to delete both your bad connection and Jordan. Those are your 2 main damage threats, and if they're gone, there's no fight to be had. It's just a massacre.
I mean, if I had been born 6'6" with a bad hairline, maybe I could have been Michael Jordan. But that's not going to happen. I have a magnificent hairline, and I'm 5'8", and I don't think no matter how many ifs they can muster right now, DPS has any option outside of FFZ makes 8 problems. Oh my God!
No. Good grief.
Deletes Yulu and your bad connection as well. That is a double kill again for Wheelspan. 19 kills in 22 minutes. This is rough. This you remember when Riot said they wanted to make League of Legends less like whatever team had the one better player could win? This does not feel like those changes ever went through, because it's just Wheelspan walking down people, forcing them away, and either deleting them or taking 80% of their health bar and forcing Alexander to walk into the base. And now there are 5 members in base, and they're trying for DPS, but that tidal wave is going to dissipate before it hits anybody. You need more of a tsunami, and now we have to see how they react to the rest of the map just being gone. They will get some bonus gold though with the supers coming in mid lane.
Yeah, this is a very defensive play from FFZ. I'm a little bit surprised. I almost feel like FFZ could have just forced another team fight and won the game off of that. But instead, they're choosing to play the long game. They're taking the Drake. They're going to seed this mid-outer here.
But
Are we going to see another fight? They do have positional advantage. This is interesting.
Oh no! Jordan is gone. Just gone. Hook lands. Hook is enough. Alexander trying to stay alive in the mid lane. Lacuna is going to go down eventually. Alexander now coming out of the stasis is being forced to flash away. Your bad connection running away from Coach Ray is able to avoid the unstoppable onslaught, but that may be it. Is probably going to have to go over the wall. Alexander trying to get away from Wheelspan, but there is also a Zerathai there. Wheelspan able to get the kill. Yulu's going to go down as well. The only member alive is your bad connection for DPS. On the other side, everybody's nice and healthy. I wanted to say that it was because FFZ hadn't gotten a back off yet, so they wanted to make sure that, you know, hey, we want to be, you know, as healthy as possible to end the game just so there's no shenanigans. But then they turn around and fight him 5v5 and kill them all.
Who needs to spend gold, right? Who needs to spend gold when you had a 12,000 gold lead and you're now sitting on a 17,000 gold lead? Rod,
gold could be the difference.
Oof. I don't know, man. This feels like a rout right now. There were moments for DPS, but I don't think they're entirely respecting the fact that they are playing from deeply, deeply behind. and it caused a few unforced errors, and they're going to have to start thinking about games 2 and 3 here.
I mean, I assume they've been thinking about games 2 and 3 for a minute. The desperation plays are what I would call necessary. Oh my God, the slows coming through. Alexander able to live, but just barely after the sure shot.
Jordan is in no man's land here. This is a very dead fiddlestick.
She got a camp though. She got a camp. She got the blue buff and pays for it with her life. And now we're going to get the unstoppable onslaught going in. Your bad connection trying to get away is going to be able to use the Gale Force to live for just a little bit longer. But there's going to be the rest of the fight. Wheels fan is just doing stupid amounts of damage for Lacuna. The hook comes in, and that's going to be Wheels fan taking down Alexander. Now able to take down Lacuna as well. And they are chasing down your bad connection. It doesn't matter. That's a triple kill for Wheels fan. That's a quadra kill for Wheels fan. If there were more members, he would probably kill them too, but Jordan died on the other side. And that is the ace coming through the teleport from Mad Chef into the mid lane. And that is going to be game 1 for FFZ. Yikes.
Yeah, Jordan can do nothing but sit in the base and watch. They're actually going to try and pick her off. Are they going to get it? Yes, but at the cost of everybody but Mad Chef.
They
just
wanted
gotta
to try and get the
scoreline
penta there. I appreciate it. They wanted to get the penta for Wheels fan. I stand.
Are they actually going to salvage the game out of that? That might be enough for FFZ to not be able to win here. The Nexus down to 1,000 health, down, throwing it down, but Mad Chef doesn't have any mana. He's got nothing here. The Nexus is going to survive on 900 health, and we are not free of game 1 yet. Rod. FFZ wanted to get the penta and came away with no win instead.
They did get another inhibitor on the top lane, but they did give 1, a lot of shutdown gold to Jordan, and 2, a shutdown kill of your bad connection, which does, I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. It makes the gold lead shrink from 22 to 17. Sorry.
Hey.
It's something. And it looks
bit
like
by bit, right?
You got to do what you got to do. Hey, you know, there's no 22,000 gold play, so you take the 5,000 ones. But that is going to be a Baron being started and likely ended over there by FFZ. The only hope being a spare sapling, which is not going to happen. Mid lane inhibitor is coming up. That Nexus still only has like less health than Lucian basically on it. So
here's the start of the fight. Kotra going in way away from the rest of his team, but does not matter. The health is just too big. Jordan can't
gets an ult off, which we have not seen all game, but your back connection is going to die on the backside. Mad Chef is now locking down everyone. That's going to be a double kill on the backside by the triple kill.
There's the penta.
Oh my God. Wheels fan got the penta he came for, going to get the win also that he showed up for, and it is going to be game 1 for FFZ. Oh my goodness. That felt like that. I say this, but that did also feel like cyberbullying. Some of these games do feel like cyberbullying. And the fact that Jordan got 1 camp for like 10 minutes, that is, I feel like we should be talking to a principal right now.
A final CS gap in the jungle of 288 to 133, Rod.
Yeah,
a damage gap of 53,000 by Wheels fan. The highest member on DPS did 23,006, and that was your bad connection on the Lucian. To reach that 53,000 mark, you would have to combine every member of DPS except for Yulu.
Yeah.
I have no words, Rod. None at all.
Again, I think we need to talk to the principal about the things that FFZ posted in League of Legends today, because these stats are very much giving cyberbullying. Like, I don't know how else to put it. That felt like I was watching. If this was a fight sport, if this was MMA, Muay Thai, boxing, the corner would have stopped the fight, because there was no fighting back that was possible for DPS. It was just punch, 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 punch coming out from FFZ, and there was no response that was anywhere near doing damage coming out for DPS. It was literally when FFZ decided to die for a penta that DPS was able to kill more than one person in a team fight. God, it was felt
Well,
so bad, so bad. We will find out if games 2 and 3 are different. If you are a DPS fan, I believe you would hope for that. But game 1 goes to FFZ in possibly the most decisive, not the fastest, but the most decisive game I think I've seen all season.
yeah, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes when these teams are prepared for the game 2 draft. But in the meantime, stick around, have some snacks, chat with your fellow folks in Twitch chat, and we'll be right back.
And then Mr. Tibbers fights the nasty dragon. Let me. No, he's mine. Hey! Tibbers is stupid. No, he's not. Give him back.
All right, we are back with game 2 for DPS versus FFZ, and shocking everyone, first ban from DPS is going to be Graves. I am so surprised by this. This has hit me out of nowhere.
The counterpoint, this just means that Wheels fan can pick up the Nidalee that they picked up in game 1 of last week's season. Or last week's match.
While true, I don't know the best way to put this, because, like, yeah, you do have to kind of land skill shots with Graves, but Nidalee has to land skill shots to function. It at least gives you a chance. But DPS is going to ban 3 junglers to start off, banning the Graves, banning the Lilia, and banning the Kindred. On the other side, FFZ is going to ban 3 ADCs, banning the Zeri, banning the Kog'Maw, and hovering the Lucian, pretending, and there it is. So, both teams attacking the other team's person, and we get a Wukong first pick coming out from DPS.
Yeah, the Wukong is a little bit safer than the Fiddlesticks here. That's an interesting hover.
No way.
That's a very interesting hover for FFZ. The Karthus.
No way.
That would be Karthus or Zerathai in the bot lane, by the way. We've seen that a couple of times now come out of the FFZ ADC.
I thought it was going to be a Karthus jungle. But they go with the Evelyn and the Milio instead. FFZ, I feel like they are indexing into they're going to ride this Toyota Camry until the wheels falls off.
Hey, it's a Toyota. Those wheels aren't going anywhere, buddy.
That would be very worrying for DPS, honestly. But it looks like they are going to take the Xayah. They are, and likely some sort of support here. Gonna be a lovers duo in the bot lane. Rakan locked in for DPS, as we now get to see what FFZ is going to take in their final first wave pick. I imagine also an ADC just to match.
No. We see the Karthus come out. Zerathai's going to do it. He's going to pull out the Karthus ADC. We've seen it from before. We'll see him again here. Or we're just going to get the Ezreal. He really wants to break that curse, I guess. A little bit disappointing.
Did a good job last time. I mean, again, when you don't have to be the strongest marksman, much easier to play. But that Ezreal does come in for Zerathai. We do get the Ahri ban coming out from FFZ, looking to target Alexander a bit. I do wonder, though. I mean, as we love spicy picks, Ezreal mid was semi-relevant for a second there a couple patches ago. Kind of after the ADC items were reworked, it showed up for like one patch, and then everybody was like, there's probably better options. So it's not off the table. It might not be on the table, but it's not off the table. But
I will say, I've been happy with Code Frey on tank. I think they've worked really well as being able to rotate around the map, being able to work with the jungler, and having a little bit of that pressure off them from when they were in jungle to compete at the highest level makes it a little bit easier for them.
That is true. However, this Nautilus or Nasus hover is making me both anxious and excited.
Say, Mad Chef do be cooking.
But he's gonna go with the Garen. We have seen the Garen previously. It did look good. And yeah, so we do get the Garen coming in for FFZ. After that, the Zoe ban on the other side. DPS did ban the Nautilus and the Gragas. forcing a different top lane adventure, I'll say, for Mad Chef. But we do get a volley bear for DPS. Wow.
This does leave a little bit of flexibility in this draft. I fully expected the Wukong to go to Jordan, but there's now a chance that it could be the volley bear with a Wukong in the top lane.
Oh, and a little Blanc. I want to say I have liked Jordan on WoW.
Yes, the Galio here, I think, is perfect for FFZ. Lock that in.
Wow.
That's perfect for Coach Ray. They played it very well. Into a LeBlanc, it's incredibly powerful. You have to taunt
Whoa,
immediately.
hang
The
on,
deception can't
hang
get
on.
away.
Hang on.
Yeah?
Oh, they're trolling me. They're trolling me.
Ooh. The Silas lock-in. That's a...
Different one. I was hoping for the Fizz. We have not seen Fizz all season, but we do get the Silas. I was going to say I have liked Jordan on tankier kind of engaged champions than the carries. Has looked, I don't want to say better, but more consistent. The carries have been high highs and low lows, but the Amumu's and the tankier buddies have been very much more consistent from Jordan in the performance. But we will find out exactly if it is the Wukong or the volley bear. I'm not gonna lie, after the Wukong lock-in, I was hoping we were gonna see a Wukong Yasuo duo. Yeah, I feel like that would have been a good matchup for DPS to take, because there was so much team fighting basically from minute 12 on that would allow at least one of those. Yasuo is going to kill 4 people because that's just how the champion works. But DPS opting not to. Yeah, so LeBlanc in the Silas, or Silas in the LeBlanc. Which one? How does that work?
Yeah, so LeBlanc's big trading pattern, of course, is deception in, dump everything, get the second chain if you can stick around for it, and then deception out. Right? So any champion that can lock you in and kind of throw you off of that pattern is going to be very good into LeBlanc. Fizz able to disrupt it by going intargetable for however long Playful Trickster is. It's too long. Playful Trickster should not be in the game. I have many objections to Fizz, but that's beside the point. For Galio, it's the taunt. Being able to hold LeBlanc there after the deception, not be able to get out, makes it very easy for the Galio to trade back. Silas, it's a little bit harder, because you're reliant on that Abscond Abduct, which is a targeted spell. So this is going to come down to a little bit of skill from... that's a whoopsie.
Yeah, there's always at least one every week. Has to be. No getting around it. But yes, please continue with the breakdown, because yeah, so am I not mistaken that for the Abscond Abduct to work, you have to kind of time it right, which can be hard because the timing of when they choose to go for LeBlanc is entirely dependent on how LeBlanc feels.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but the bonus for Silas is that Deception is readable. The first cast of Deception does have travel time, so you can use that window, that small window, if you react quickly enough, to cast the Abscond and hold the Abduct in your back pocket for when LeBlanc tries to go back. So it does make it possible for Silas to win, but again, it's going to be a very skill matchup here, in my opinion. The plus side is you have a very good jungler who has proven themselves to be incredibly potent in terms of affecting lanes, keeping them even, and turning them into ahead lanes. So as long as Coach Ray can keep it even and can keep Alistander from picking up kills and starting to snowball early, we can expect Wheelfan, once they hit level 6, to start coming into that lane, to start making LeBlanc's life miserable, and to really help Coach Ray accelerate through.
Yes, but, and here's my question, because it is Evelyn, it's not Graves, who at level 3 basically has access to 80% of the kit, right? How
Sure.
impactful is Evelyn going to be in the early game? Because again, the early game was basically when the game was won last game. Is Evelyn going to be able to be as impactful in making sure that there are no leads available for DPS to get over FFZ?
Sure, that's the question. I do suspect that it will be fine. By virtue of Garen is Garen. Will always be able to push out the lane with his E, be able to keep Volibear in check. So long as Mad Chef doesn't overstep, should have control of that lane. Silas will be behind on roams, but always able to get to fights. So if the team is on the back of wheels here, the Evelyn will still be able to take the fight. I don't love the 1v1 into Wukong for Evelyn. Evelyn will absolutely lose that 1v1 early on. But if the team is there, and we've seen from this new FFZ, very high team cohesion, being always with their jungler, always rotating together, always being, aware of what's going on around the map, it's going to be hard for Jordan to react to the invades, even if Wheelfan decides to be as aggressive on the Evelyn as they were on the Graves.
That is fair. Also, really, really hard to track Evelyn level 6 without pink wards basically everywhere, which kind of hard to do in the first 10 minutes. But yeah, I also wonder, so do you think DPS is going to switch up their level 1 start? Because it was very, very much exploited last game by FFZ. Are they going to do something different, or do you think they are going to still sit there in that, I believe it's the banana bush? Bushes have weird names sometimes. In the bush that's up there by the red buff, or yeah,
it's been red.
By the red buff. Yeah.
Find a little bit of a different strategy here. Yes, you're on the other side, so you're going to be able to kind of mirror it here, but I would still like to see them do something different. They have a potential level 1 invade with the Rakan. It's not the strongest. You don't have the strongest level 1 out of LeBlanc or Xayah, but there's still something that can be done there if they want to be hyper-aggressive, try to punish this Evelyn early, or they can play it safe, 5-man, and not let the Evelyn find any holes in their defense early. But just stacking in a bush and waiting and hoping the other team messes up didn't work in game 1, got red very hard, and they'll have to find something new here for game 2.
Okay. I definitely agree. I hope they do. But having addressed kind of the other matchups, I think the bot lane still looks the same. Where if allowed to 2v2, if they don't dive and take 3 tower shots, your bad connection and Yulu should be able to bully Atreides and Zerathai.
Yeah, we'll see. They weathered the storm very well in game 1. We may be able to expect them to do the same here in game 2, but they'll have less jungler support, so we'll have to see what happens. That being said, we're starting to tick through spectator delay, so Rod, I think it's time for us to step aside and let these teams begin to duke it out on the Rift.
I agree 100%. No one go anywhere, or at least don't click anywhere. I guess you could physically use the restroom or something, but come right back. We will be here for game 2. We have seen DPS does seem to have a game 2 buff in literally every series, so we will see if that continues to hold over or if FFZ is able to take a 2-0. So we will be back very shortly. All right, and here we go. We are into game 2, DPS versus FFZ, and there is a different stack coming out from DPS, but it's in the mid lane. I like it though because it looks like they are going to try to do something, looking to maybe go around and catch Wheels Fan. They are going to at least be able to spot out Wheels Fan, and that's going to be the flash coming out from Yulu. Going to force the flash out of Wheels Fan. I think you take that trade 100%, as we do see. There's also an exhaust from Yulu, which may come in handy. Might be a useful mouse tool for later. Alexander getting some of that free gold coming in from the first strike, but a Q from Zerathai ensures that they are aware on the side of DPS that the bot side probably warded, definitely being watched, and they are going to be spotted rotating through, but they aren't going to see the jungler who is starting on top side. Looks like both junglers looking to, a nice switch from Wheels Fan. The red buff is warded, is going to go ahead and start on the bot side. That said, because we aren't going to have crazy level 1s, we can talk about what everyone brought to the table this time. Both top laners taking flash and teleport, with Grasp of the Undying for Lacuna and Conqueror for Mad Chef. We do also have Conqueror on Jordan in the Wukong in the jungle, and that's going to be Yulu going in immediately. They're already taking half of Atreides' health and Atreides' flash. Zerathai now being forced to walk away as well to get half of his health as well. Yeah, that's that early game aggression I thought we were going to see here. They are not playing around in that bot lane.
Was very much missing in game 1, so nice to see it coming out here in game 2. I mean, they got it for a couple of minutes in the first bit of the game last game, but it wasn't enough. They couldn't keep the pressure up, and they paid for it heavily, especially once Wheels Fan was able to get down into that lane, start causing problems. On the top side, we're seeing some heavy aggression too. Both of these laners down under half health.
Yes.
Just love all the fighting we're seeing across the map.
They do both have a lot of bit of sustain in their kits built in, but yeah, they are looking to trade early and often up there. However, there is a pretty substantial CS lead for Lacuna, with the wave fairly even. So, hey, you take those, using those chain lightning to get a little bit of damage on the Mad Chef, turn off the passive.
Yeah, Mad Chef has been a bit too focused on trading early on, paid for it with a few of those minions going the other way. Gonna want to see that turned a bit around, although Garen, after you get the Stride Breaker, is pretty happy, doesn't need a whole lot more items to start being problematic. So Mad Chef's gonna be a-okay.
Yeah, and now the wave is crashing, and it looks like it is going to be enough to where at least it should be able to even up some of that CS. Ooh, gonna miss that one though, and that one. Does get that one.
Got that one at least.
Oh no, this didn't hit the rest of the wave. He's gonna actually miss a lot of them if he's not able to get it correctly. But a very nice trade back from Coach Ray, able to take Alexander, who's been poking at Coach Ray a lot, but is able to take some of that health off of Alexander. We do already have a first back coming in for Wheels Fan. Does get the Amp Tone as well as the Dark Seal. Is looking to now go around, probably just going for that Scuttle Crab. Is going to likely be spotted on the ward if he tries to come up to the top lane. Mad Chef getting poked around. Zerathai is able to channel the Arcane Shift just in time to get away. Wow, that was almost bad.
Here comes Wheels Fan.
Does come in, does get the charm, and Lacuna does get the shield, but is very low, is forced to flash away. Wheels Fan chasing. Lacuna is going to go down, and that's going to be first blood for Wheels Fan. He stepped over the ward and was still not respected. We do on the other side see Jordan coming down.
Disrespect from Lacuna there is a real feels bad for DPS. Yes, it's an early game Evelyn. Yes, it's super obvious, but you still have to respect it. There's still damage coming out. Lacuna not only loses the flash, not only gives the kill over to the hyperscaler jungler, but also now forced to use the TP. Alexander in a bad spot here, down under 100 health. Good pressure from Coach Ray there.
Yes, Coach Ray trading back very, very well. We do see the first tower plate going over there in the bot lane as your bad connection and Yulu continue to pressure Zerathai. They are up a little bit of CS, but not a lot of bit of CS, and we do now see Jordan has a reset. Did get the Sheen, of course, does not have the same amount of gold as Wheels Fan, who now has 2 stacks on that Dark Seal and has the Hex Tech Alternator as well. Very nice knockback coming in from Atreides to prevent the entrance from your bad connection in Lulu, but they are still able to take a solid chunk of health out of Zerathai. Zerathai is just existing at 40% health. Anytime some of that health comes back, it's taken away again. Does have biscuits, which are helping to sustain in this lane, but going to be rough. Yulu does miss the entrance that time and is going to just walk away. Ooh, pays for it though. Pays for it a lot. But this wave being pushed in is going to be traded, and it looks like the CS lead is going to not be a major problem there. Alexander trying to get onto Coach Ray, did have to teleport back in the lane, is trying to get the damage. Oh, he's one hit, but it's going to be Coach Ray living.
No!
Flash away from both of them.
That
There's just
is...
no cooldowns. No cooldowns
That
available
is the
for Alexander.
worst of all possible worlds for Alexander. If they hadn't walked away, if they had respected that need for the first auto attack, there's another gank coming in topside. Lacuna does have the ultimate here. The charm is going to come down. The unstoppable, though, will ignore it. Can Lacuna get away? The flash forward, and the judgment is dealt. Mad Chef takes another, and Volibear falls.
Yeah, Volibear's getting picked on a little bit, but Wheelsfan now has 3 stacks on that Dark Seal and is continuing to be a problem. Level 6, which was my one worry about this pick. I don't think Wheels was worried, at least. Alexander now back in the mid lane. So is Coach Ray. Both of them went last chapter, so they are not going. Oh no, they're gonna meet him in there.
Oh no, you're not allowed to do this. Lacuna in trouble, being ganked once again. The charm coming out. Can he get back to his turret? Survey says no. Lacuna in trouble.
Oh.
The ultimate from Wheelsfan secures it. Yes, bot side gets the Drake, but now the Evelyn stacking hard. The Garen starting to get a bit of a lead here, taking down that turret. Working through this top side again because Zerathai and Atreides, this lightning rod refusing to die.
Yeah, doing a great job absorbing that pressure. Alexander, though, getting traded back on super hard. Again, taken very low. Has to be incredibly careful. Yulu and your bad connection, though, take a 3rd plate down there in this bot lane. They are using the fact that they know Wheelsfan is not nearby to their advantage. Jordan goes on a Coach Ray. Coach Ray may be able to survive. No, Alexander over the wall. Very nice kill. Able to keep the lead from snowballing too far there, and that mid lane kill will allow Alexander to get a nice safe back off with an extra chunk of gold.
Alexander has had pretty good lane control through this entire map so far. Currently up about 20 CS, which is a good look. With the range advantage, of course, this should be entirely surprising. The Sylas has to play very defensively, but Alexander doing a good job of riding it out and keeping that lane in their favor. Unfortunately, the rest of the map not so lucky. Zerathai only down a wave despite all the pressure coming in from Yurbad, and Yulu jungle down about 4 cams. And Lacuna may just die again here as the charm is going to be diminished. So they'll just get to walk away, but still more pressure on this Volibear. More turret plates fixing to go down. And the Rift Herald, this is a big collapse from DPS, sending all 5 members up here early. Wheelsfan and Mad Chef are the only members in the area for FFZ. They're just going to have to give this up.
Yeah, Coach Ray trying to rotate through, but the bot lane is not going to be here in time, and that is going to be a Rift Herald being taken by DPS. That said, we do already have a Noon Quiver coming in for your bad connection. Looks like already going for the Storm Razor to start off. Just the 3 plates, basically the difference there. Trying to get onto Coach Ray, not going to happen. Coach Ray is actually going to turn it around, and Yulu is in a bad place, going to get hit with the ultimate he doesn't even have access to, and charmed up. And now Alexander having to run away is going to distort over the wall. Going to be fine, but they give away a kill for the Rift Herald. That is not ideal for DPS. I don't know what you thought was going to happen there, Yulu, but yeah, you don't have enough damage to kill the Sylas, even with Alexander nearby.
Yeah, the plus side for all of this for DPS is they are forcing FFZ to play responsively as opposed to proactively here. This is allowing them time to start pushing the narrative around this bot lane. Get your bad connection further fed. Move this Rift Herald down. Try and break this turret. More gold onto the Xayah. They are trapping up Atreides here. Atreides might be in trouble as the back was completed by Wheelspan. This is very bad for the bot side as Atreides is going to go down, getting charmed up, getting knocked down, already down. Zerathai next in line as TP comes through from the Silas. The Rift Herald is triggered. Can they find turnaround kills here? Survey is going to say no. This turret will soon fall. The health bars are so low for DPS, but it does not matter. Zerathai very low. Zerathai is going to fall to Alexander. Coach Ray next to go as Jordan picks that up. But Wheelspan picking up the first. Now trying to turn further. Just the one.
Yeah,
that's big for DPS.
Was able to get that kill though. Will now have 7 stacks on that Dark Steel. Also does have the Proto Belt there. Was able to get into the fight quickly. Lacuna trying to get an extra plate on the top side, knowing all the action is on the bot side. Does get 1, does not get 2, is going to be forced to walk away. Is 0-3. Looks like going towards, I assume that's going to be a Sunderer, maybe?
Could be a Sunderer, could be an Iceborne Gauntlet if Lacuna wants to play more defensively here. The Sheen, still plenty of options on the table. That being said, if Lacuna is the only person losing, that's okay for DPS because right now, Alexander doing well. Zerathai, they finally broke the back of this so hard to break bot lane. Your bad connection and Yulu finally picking something up there. Yes, it took the entire team, but they got first turret, they got a couple of kills, and they forced some mistakes from DPS trying to be responsive. Now Zerathai in trouble once again as Alexander going to pick it up with the chains. Wheelspan is going to find your bad connection on the other side. As Zerathai refusing to die for a surprisingly long time, but will eventually fall.
Going down. Wheelspan now walking towards Alexander. Jordan's getting
in a bad spot.
Ganked, taken away, but is trying to survive there. Is going to get charmed up by Wheelspan and is going to go down. Alexander on the backside trying to get onto Wheelspan. Wheelspan is going to be fine. Yulu is going to hop over the wall to Alexander. Alexander's going to get hit with the Abscondo and is now in a bad place. Going to get knocked up, but Coach Ray
Wheelspan's behind.
Yeah, Wheelspan trying to get onto Yulu or Alexander is going to get the kill.
Oh, there's the die.
What?
Beautiful true shot barrage over the top to not only save the jungler, but also take both kills. And suddenly the Ezreal is back in the game here, Rod.
Not only in the game, but buys a free dragon for FFZ. With this Infernal Drake. We're not going to have time to guess what the next one is going to be, but it is going to be a Hex Tech Drake. But, yeah, they can't kill Wheelspan in these fights. We saw Alexander trying to get onto him. We saw Yulu trying to get onto him, and Wheelspan is just not accessible. And that's going to be a problem because he's already 5-0-3.
Question of the day, does that Dark Steel get upgraded?
I think yes. The way this is going, I think yes.
Secondary question here. So far, FFZ has died exactly 5 times in every game they've had with this new roster. Can DPS break that streak? Can they pick up a 6th kill on this DPS squad?
I also think that is a yes. I think they will get a 6th kill. I feel very certain on that part. Would bet real money and not just internet points that they will get a 6th kill. Now, the question is, will that 6th kill matter? Because there is a lot of problems going on that they need to solve. We do see the rotations kind of starting to come up. They're looking around this Rift Herald once again. There's going to be the Magi's coming in. Coach Ray and Alexander having a fight. That's going to be the chain, a second chains. But now the distortion is stolen by Coach Ray and Alexander has to walk away. We do have Yulu hanging out nearby, looking for some action. Sure shot barrage not going to come through. Coach Ray going to walk away as now there are 3 members up here in the top side. 4. Oh no, he's
here
back
comes
on
Wheelspan. Alexander's in ult range.
Wheelspan does get knocked up. There's going to be the feathers coming in, and they're going to be able to take down Coach Ray, and now Jordan is on the backside. They're trying to chase down the rest of the team. Wheelspan is going to be able to survive the Cyclone. No, that wasn't the Cyclone. That was, yeah, it was. There's a second hit. There's a second hit available. It didn't show that it was off. But now they're trying to get onto Atreides. Atreides is going to, with 12 health. Wheels fan on the other side is going to be able to get the charm onto Jordan. Jordan's going to have to walk away, but they are going to lose a tower on the other side. They are going to take the outer tower in the top side, but Wheels fan is just hanging out, trying to get onto Alexander. Alexander's going to go, oh no, goes back in. What?
Wheels fan was over the wall, predicted the deceive. That was beautiful from the Evelyn, who is now looking for Jordan here as the backs come through. No, your bad connection and Yulu cancel the backs. They know that Wheels fan is in the area, but it does not matter. Now, godlike on the Evelyn as Yulu and your bad connection are forced to run away. The chains are not going to connect. Now, Wheels fan in trouble, rooted up,
to get onto
taking a
Wheels
lot
fan,
of
not going to be
damage.
able to get it. Coach Ray now onto Yulu, going to get the kill. Your bad connect is going to go down as well, and that is going to be a double kill for Coach Ray. There was the 6th death, but like I said, I don't think it's going to matter. Wheels fan absolutely untouched. 20 stacks on the Dark Steel now, excuse me, on the Magi's, and that is going to be a Rift Tail being taken for FFZ. Oh, yikers.
Yeah, this game, which looked so good for DPS, they were getting kills back, they were taking objectives around the map, and they've still done that. But that fight, that entire fight was a 3v4. Zerathai was sitting AFK in the mid lane, pushed the entire mid turret from full to nothing, pushed the secondary turret to half health, just sitting there auto-attacking it, doing nothing else. When you are winning fights just barely in 4v3s, and then overstaying and losing all of that advantage, that makes it really hard to win games.
That is very, very true. And I don't know what you can do right now if you're DPS, but I do like what they're doing. They're trying to find a way to find where Wheels fan is, because if you can catch Wheels fan without the rest of the team, maybe you can get that 700 shutdown gold, but the rest of the team is here. There's 4 members coming from DPS, and they are going to be able to take down Coach Ray. Coach Ray stays alive long enough, though. Here comes the teleport from Mad Chef. Mad Chef trying to get onto anyone. He is going to get rooted. He's going to get tooted, but it is not going to matter. Wheels fan is able to take 1 kill. Jordan's going to go down as well. There's going to be 3, 4 dead. Quadra kill for Wheels fan. And that's going to be Mad Chef finishing off the ace. Not going to save it for Wheels fan. Wheels fan went around the bot side. But, yeah, they thought they had someone caught out, but they didn't have the full picture on exactly how many members are there. And Coach Ray stayed alive for so long with being focused that was able to allow the teleport to finish and the rest of the kills to come through.
Coach Ray has really settled into this role as a supportive mid laner for the FFZ team, playing the tanks, being the kind of roamer that the team needs, even if it costs a whole lot in the mid lane, and now being the engager, taking some of these losses, being the one with more deaths than kills here. They're fine with it because they're still winning games, and for FFZ, this is obviously a great look, continuing to push the tempo now that they've taken the advantage, taking the second Drake for them, now up 2 Drakes to 1. Really just beginning with the knife here.
Yeah, and taking the mid lane, tier 2, taking the bot lane outer, and now we see Mad Chef looking to move into this mid lane. They have 4 members here to the 2.5, I'd say, that DPS has. They're able to push in the wave. No contest going to happen. But it is a major problem that they just cannot finish these kills fast enough. Alexander taking a chunk of damage from that sure shot barrage as well. What does DPS need to do?
Well, it's tough, right? Ito. You're not Ito. You're the other one. It's tough, Rod. Dude, I've casted so much with the 2 of y'all. Brain melt, my guy. I had to cast a game yesterday where the lineup was, I wish I was kidding, Orianna top, Rengar jungle, Ivern mid, Teemo, Dr. Mundo bot lane.
Was this like an ultimate bravery game? But Lacuna
No.
needs some ultimate bravery because he's deleted Wheels fan not able to get over the wall with the ultimate, though, the only saving grace. And here comes Jordan now, and they're trying to get onto Wheels fan. Wheels fan will go down eventually. It's going to be a shutdown go for Jordan, but that is going to cost him the top laner. In the meantime, your bad connection onto the both members of the bot lane there.
Here
but
comes
Matchup
Darren.
comes in the teleport, and this is going to be a problem. That's going to be Yulu using all of the skills to try and keep the ADC alive. Is able to do so, but Coach Ray is here now. Teleport coming in, and that's going to be the exhaust on the Coach Ray. That's going to be the ultimate coming out from your bad connection, but the second he comes down, he goes out, and that is going to be 3 kills if you count Lacuna for 1. They did stop the stacking from Wheels fan, taking 10 stacks off of that Magi's, and 1,000 gold for Jordan. But
yeah, that's not nothing.
the rest of it also not nothing though. And now
to
we
answer
see
your
Coach
question,
Ray.
by the way.
Ooh.
Jordan getting locked up, but Coach Ray in a little bit of trouble trying to use that Cyclone to buy space, and it will be enough as Jordan goes down. Alexander now in trouble as well. The red buff will determine which one the real one is. Can they find it? Zerathai's ult going the wrong way might cause issues as Alexander's actually going to get away unless Atreides can manage it. The burn isn't enough. Yes! Atreides picks up the kill.
Atreides also has a Magi's and now has 16 stacks on it. This is
More stacks than the Evelyn.
This is just not good for DPS. They did hit that game 2 buff, but I don't think it was enough. I don't think it was enough. This is like when Vegeta thought he went Super Saiyan but hadn't. Okay, and now he's getting killed by Frieza, but he can stand up to the third evolution. That's really what's going on here, because there's still another transformation available for FFZ, and I don't think that DPS just has the DPS to handle
Yulu. Yulu, you're not allowed to do that.
And Will's fan gets
Oh,
the kill.
man.
Will's fan gets the kill. This is just nowhere to run, nowhere to look, nowhere to safely back for DPS now. And the Baron is up. We see the towers being taken, being pushed, the lanes being taken over, and you just have to wonder what DPS is saying right now in their comms for what do we play for? What do we do? Where do we need to be? Because this is not looking like fun times.
Well, this is the paradox of a fed Evelyn, right? When you're dealing with Evelyn, you need vision. But when you start losing to an Evelyn, that vision disappears because Evelyn is able to push up further and further. Currently in on Jordan. Currently gonna find Jordan. Predicts the flash! Oh my goodness, Wheels fan. That was unreal.
That was just showing
Somebody
off.
clip that.
Showing off. Gets the charm, gets the kill, gets the stacks, and there's a Magi's on Zerathai as well with 8 stacks. And we do see Coach Ray has stolen the ultimate from the Rakan, looking to figure out what is available elsewhere, but they're not going to make any plays. It looks like they're going to stick around for this dragon here in the bottom side. It is going to be red buff taken and shared with Zerathai. That is going to be everybody getting locked up. Very nice charm, but now the charm is available for Coach Ray. Coach Ray is going to try to go out, is not going to be able to. Atreides is going to go down. Alexander is going to be able to take down the kill. Coach Ray still going down, just lived for so long, and that's going to be the bot lane inner going down to Mad Chef in the meantime, but it is 2 free kills for DPS, which is not nothing at all. And now they're looking at the Baron.
Take the victories you can get. Yes, DPS gets a couple of kills. They get some Baron pressure. FFC does manage to secure a break on the back side.
There's going to be a 4v5. There's going to be the short shot barrage. It's going to see everybody. Your back connection take it super low. Bad Chef is going to go in and is going to be able to get the judgment. Going to get the kill. Jordan trying to get onto Wheels fan. Wheels fan is going to ult out of the way. And now Lacuna is trying to get onto Mad Chef. Mad Chef is going to be fine. That's going to be Yulu going down in the bot side. And that's going to be a triple kill, quadra kill for Wheels fan. And just, that's a 4v5.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. It's just too much.
That sure shot barrage came through with so much damage and basically took your bad connection down to a one-shot kill and was killed in one shot. Zerathar now has 18 stacks on the Magi's as well.
Oh no! All the Magi.
So, there's
Mad
also a
Chef
Dark Seal
purchased a
on
Dark
Mad
Seal?
Chef.
Oh no,
Dark
this
Seal
is...
on Coach Ray. This is trolling at the highest level. Are they going to try to get everybody 25 stacks? This is what I think they're now playing games against themselves to try and stay motivated by FFZ. That is, oof. That I don't know words to describe how bad that's got to feel. But 3 members pushed up in the mid lane there for DPS, and they don't know it, but there's 4 members looking around. They're able to get the charm and a bunch of damage onto Willsfan and to Coach Ray, but Coach Ray is going to be fine. Willsfan is going to ult out. Mad Chef is going to take a kill, and that is going to be everybody walking away. Just fine.
Look at Wheelspan. Wheelspan literally regenerated their entire health bar from their passive.
Alexander trying to get onto Coach Ray, flashes over, but it's not going to matter. Willsfan is there.
Oh my goodness. This feels bad, Rod. Nothing can go right for DPS at the moment. They get a little bit, they find an opening. They've doubled the kill score from last game, but it doesn't matter. It's still 32-11. Mad Chef, absolutely enormous on the Garen. Wheelfan, obviously, at 19-1-6, is incredibly powerful. But Zerathai, quietly, 5-2-5, has 4.5 items. Well, that's a fully stacked Magi, or mostly stacked Magi. That's more than half an item.
And that's
Oh,
you can't that's we're back to the place we were at the end of last game where there's no safe method to check for camps, and now Jordan is what, 3-4 levels down, and you can't go anywhere if you are on DPS because that is their jungle. That is their life. We do see aggression going on to your back connection. Looks like your back connection is going to barely get away. Alexander as well trying to get away, but it's just going to be a single Q from Zerathai is going to finish the drill. Zerathai trying to get the kills. There's going to be more kills going over to Willsfan. Instead, they'll get the double kill on the backside, and now Lacuna trapped under the tower. Going to use the unstoppable, but it's not going to matter. There's just so much damage, and that's going to be the ace, and it looks like it's going to be the game. FFZ. Yeah, that's...
My one regret right now about the season. My one regret about the season is that we don't get to see KOI face off against this team in the regular season. KOI played against the old FFZ, the pre-rebuild FFZ. I would love to see that matchup because KOI has looked so good throughout the season as well.
That is true, and we will not get to see it, unfortunately, but the way that FFZ has looked with Wheelsfan, we might get to see it later. We just might. Just throwing that out there. But, yes, what a win by FFZ. Again, we see Wheelsfan with, I don't know, a 30 KDA? A 30 KDA?
Yeah, just casually. 39,000 damage. Not as much as last game, but still doing their job. Doing their job.
Mad Chef has no mathematical KDA. It is infinite. Just throw that out there. But yes, FFZ as a whole looked incredibly good, taking the 2-0 in very, very convincing fashion, and did not look under threat for longer than 4 minutes in this whole series. Yeah, I don't know what any team can be thinking right now other than we're gonna go to Wheelsfan's house, we're gonna cut the power,
and we're gonna pray.
Yeah, hope he doesn't have, you know, a hotspot and a laptop that can play League effectively. That's what you gotta hope for. Because that literally looked kind of how you would expect, I hate to say it, with, hey, it's a Grandmaster Jungler against other teams.
We've just been informed. Wheelfan is playing at a PC cafe. So you can't even cut the power.
I mean,
oh man,
I don't want to say it like this, but No, because I mean, he can make a new account. I was gonna say maybe troll his games and see if you can get him banned for yelling at you or something, but I don't know what your options are. This is just insane. But yes, I think Wheels Fan was the MVP.
Unfortunately, we cannot. Looks like we cannot interview Wheels Fan as they have already disappeared.
I mean,
So
that's fair.
Who do we want to interview?
Anyone is anyone is possible. I suppose Zerathai. Just so Zerathai does deserve the chance to talk their shit about the Ezreal pick. Having had it flamed for 3 weeks, so that is fair.
We're gonna just go ahead and drag Zerathai in. He doesn't get a choice. Welcome to the desk, Zerathai.
They got kidnapped?
Yes.
Yes.
I have powers.
Oh.
I told you the shadowy hand.
Congratulations on a second strong week of victories and on showing us the two sides of FFZ this season. The side that wouldn't be able to win their way out of wet paper bag, and the side that's putting wet paper bags on other people's heads.
Yeah.
All right. I want to give you the chance because we have on the caster desk many casters, not just me, have been very critical of the love of Ezreal. So here is your chance to air us all out and explain to us that we are both stupid and wrong. Go.
You're not. I'm just comfortable on Ezreal. It's really just that. I mean, like, no. The champion. Listen, I had some unlucky games earlier in the split, I think, that sort of started the whole curse of Ezreal shit rolling. And then after this point, I mean, like, I just picked Ezreal last game because I knew I was going to get I was just going to take a beating in the bot lane anyways, because your bad is a significantly better player than I am. So I just decided to pick to exist and not be worthless. And then in game 2...
You did a great job of that.
Yes, we were all marveling at the fact at how many times we were like, and Zerathai's going to not die. Okay, good job. And he's still in lane farming.
Yeah. No, I'm just one of those average solo hero Ezreals that achieves absolutely nothing of value, but I will greed out the item power spikes way too long.
Well, you did a great job. You did do significant amounts of damage in both games.
Did you see game 1?
It was still significant amounts. It was damage. I mean, to be fair, you were not the strongest marks person on your team, but what you gonna do there?
Yeah.
But
no. I mean...
yeah. The revamped roster looking very good.
Yeah. It feels good too. Frenzy is an absolute memer. The series last week, we spent the entire time spam pinging not our jungler, but our mid laner now, Luis, just for like missing Nautilus hooks. It was absolutely hilarious.
I think he was my coach like 4 seasons ago on a team. Now that I think about it,
Coach Frey?
Yeah,
probably.
I was very bad, but he was trying to make me less bad. But yes, looks really good. We're also hearing I see your chat. So this sounds like a team of legend almost, because the backstories also sound ridiculous. That your jungler is playing in PC bangs and your top laner is playing from China.
Yep. That I can confirm that is factual. I heard today that Frenzy's computer died last week, so he's been playing his NA, like his tryouts, or maybe not tryouts. Maybe they've been trying out other players, but he's been playing like to get up the open qualifier roster from a PC bang, as well as just like this game, obviously. So kind of a nutter.
That is insane.
And then Jeffrey had to move back to China because it's no longer the school year. So Yeah, he decided he would use the dark technologies to break through the Great Firewall and play with us.
Oh God. It
Bless his
adds
heart.
to the lore. It adds to the lore. What?
Oh my goodness. I have to ask Zerathai, on top of all of this, y'all had some, it felt like y'all were having some, issues with keeping yourselves lighthearted and happy and focusing on having fun in BTL in the first couple of weeks of the season. Has that cleared up? Or y'all back to just approaching this as being having fun, just letting what happens happen? How's the temperature in the team room?
We haven't lost yet, so I don't know. It's hard to say until we get put into a situation where we're actually taking a pounding. Like I'd lost lane against your bad connection, that felt bad, but like everyone's still vibing, so I don't know, we're good. I think that with this group of people, no one seems like they're under an extreme amount of stress because of their job or anything like that. So I think everyone's just gonna kind of be happy regardless.
Where do you find jobs like that? Where
Like
where do
what?
they make those? Where do they make jobs like that?
Like what? High stress jobs?
Where,
No,
no,
low
just
stress
where you're
jobs.
not high stress, yeah. 'Cause I'd love
Where
that.
do you where do you find those? Are they hiring?
Yeah, it's called McDonald's. You can probably.
That is a very high stress job. Do not let the lies come through. They will.
Hey,
will
listen,
beat
I worked
you.
at McDonald's for a year.
You had a low stress McDonald's? I think we're losing
Apparently,
you a little bit.
Zerathai's computer has decided that it's the end of the interview. Rod, I think that's
There
a
we
good
go.
sign for
It's
us
back.
to go ahead and call it an end for this first
I agree.
match.
Yeah. So Zerathai, do you have any shout outs you would like to shout out?
Shout out Frenzy for picking up the entirety of Fantastic Four and Zerathai and putting them on his back. And shout out your bad connection for handing me my ass in both lanes again.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, with that, we would like to thank everybody for tuning in. We will be back in approximately an hour.
1 hour.
Yes. With which one is it? Because
That'll be Rat Legion and Galactic Outlaws.
There we go. Rat Legion versus Galactic Outlaws. So everyone, stay tuned, or at least come back in an hour. I mean, you can do stuff, I guess. I don't know what you can accomplish in an hour. It's really, it's
You can
not
take a
really a
nap.
lot of time. Yeah, that's true. You can take a nap. So everyone, we will be back. But thank you to DPS, Fantastic Four, and Zerathai for coming through. And we will see you all in a little bit.